We have a date?
Okay.
The language of love knows no borders.
The reason I think he became Muslim was because he loved her so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
But there are some lines you don't cross.
He was losing control or any power that he might have had over.
How could you do this to me?
Because of the stigma of being unwed and pregnant.
And when you do, there's no turning back.
What's beneficial or pleasing about that at all? Nothing. That's really bizarre.
Your wife's texting someone else late night, you know, it seems suspicious.
I don't think justice is ever served in a murder case.
Love may be blind and marriage bliss, but divorce is murder. "32-year-old Donald Southworth drives a truck for a major parcel service in Kentucky. But fate and circumstance bring this single man to Jakarta, Indonesia. For several months, he's been helping his company expand overseas.
He worked over there for a while, and I guess obviously he was interested in the women.
Especially 28-year-old bank teller Umi Harir Sulistiyowati.
Hi, I speak English. Can I help you?
No need. Salamat siang.
Salamat siang to you too. I'm impressed.
I'm Don.
I'm Umi.
Donald, he was a happy-go-lucky fella. Never met a stranger. He would pick up a conversation with just anybody and just take off.
I would love someone to practice my English with.
I'd love to help. Do we have a date?
Okay.
Their courtship is brief.
She was a very beautiful, bright, intelligent, and loving woman. She smiled so beautifully and a wonderful laugh.
Come on.
He was a very charismatic man as a conversationalist, you know, and very interesting to talk to. I can understand why she was interested in a stable, loving man.
Ini adalah baik.
It is nice.
I'm gonna have to go home soon.
I don't want this to end.
It doesn't have to.
But I don't know my parents.
I know.
In order to marry an Indonesian woman of Muslim faith, you yourself have to at least be Muslim.
I'll convert.
Really?
Yeah.
He became a Muslim when he got married, but it was just for convenience or in order to get married. The reason I think he became Muslim was because he loved her so much.
It was a traditional marriage ceremony over there, and then they flew back to the U.S.
To their new home in Lexington, Kentucky. Donald goes back to work, while Umi aces her English as a second language exam and enrolls in college to learn accounting. She studies hard and earns top marks.
You ready to go?
Just about.
Don was very proud that she did so well in school here in the States. After she graduated, she worked as an accountant in a hotel, and she also worked as an accountant at a restaurant group.
She pursues her master's degree while holding down a job.
Where she worked, she made friends very easily, and they sort of looked after her.
Umi have a lot of friends in Kentucky and have a lot of Indonesian friends too.
They seemed like a typical married couple.
I always liked him, and I always liked her. She was a happy person all the time.
3 years later, Umi gives birth to Nadia.
They were both excited, and she took time off to have the baby, and she was a beautiful girl. Umi was very happy and Don doted on her.
Donald very happy being father too. After Nadia born, Umi sent photograph to Indonesia. Everybody had picture. She very proud being a mother.
But managing a new baby is a struggle.
Hey.
Months later, Donald is on the night shift, while Umi's back at both work and school.
He was pretty active in all aspects of his daughter's life. He's a very hands-on dad.
Hi, I'm home.
Shh. You're gonna wake her.
Sorry.
They're rarely home at the same time.
I'm gonna get some sleep before work.
Wait, right now?
Yeah, right now. I don't know if I can keep this up.
I don't know either.
So they hire a nanny, Eva Malik.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm really happy you can start right away.
Me too. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
You guys have a beautiful home.
Thank you.
The Indonesian community here is a very tight-knit community, and that is where they would have met Eva.
Eva stayed home and babysat, took care of things domestically. She kept the house clean and prepared the meals.
It's a perfect match. Eva is new to the country and needs a job, while the Southworths need all the help they can get.
Eventually, she moved in with Umi and her daughter, and Don.
Eva is welcomed into the family and makes herself comfortable. Psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser and forensic psychologist Brian Russell see challenges ahead.
I am not thrilled about the addition of Ava to Donald and Umi's household, primarily because they don't really seem to me like a couple who needs to have a nanny. And maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I always believe that somebody who is taking care of your child for money is probably not going to care as much about your child as you do. The other thing about Umi and Donald's history that gives me pause is Donald's conversion to Islam suggests to me one of two things, neither of which gives me great confidence about the relationship. One is that maybe Donald is not a guy who attaches very strongly to things that he says outwardly are important to him. Or if he did embrace his Christianity, but was willing to give it up so easily to get Umi, then maybe he's a guy for whom expedience trumps belief.
I'm probably more of a romantic than Brian, but I think it could be very romantic what he was doing. What it says to me is that Donald said to himself, I'm moving her out of her homeland, I'm taking her away from everyone, so in return, I'm gonna take on her religion and then we'll sort of have a piece of each of us. We'll be in my country, but with her religious beliefs.
A few months later, the Southworths and Eva end up in Indonesia at the same time.
He thought it was a very beautiful place. He enjoyed all of his time there.
I thought that Donald very nice guy.
Back in Kentucky, life settles into a routine. Except for one thing. Eva is hiding something.
Umi thinking who the father was, but she wasn't sure.
Umi is understandably suspicious.
Don, Eva's pregnant. Did you know?
How can you even tell under those clothes?
I can tell under a pajama. Did you know anything about this?
What? No, I don't know who she sees on her time off. Come back to sleep.
That's not the only denial Donald makes.
There was just something about him I didn't like.
It excited Donald to watch. That was a common practice for him.
A year after hiring her nanny, Umi Southworth is surprised to discover Eva's pregnant. Umi's husband, Donald, knows nothing about it, or so he claims.
Umi's species is Donald could be the father, but she wasn't sure.
But when Eva delivers a baby girl, Donald is waiting at the hospital. And days later, Umi confirms her worst fears. Donald is the father. And that's not the only secret Donald is keeping.
I'm sorry, Umi. You were away. I was helping Ava with her English, and things just kind of happened.
While Umi was hitting the books, Donald and Eva were hitting the sack. Not only is the baby Donald's,
There's something else I need to tell you.
What? There's more?
I had to make it right.
while Umi was catching up with family in Jakarta, Donald and Eva snuck off together.
You're married to her?
He came back with 2 different wives.
It was the right thing to do.
He had to marry her in Indonesia to satisfy the demands of that culture, to pacify her parents.
Was it the right thing to do to sleep with her?
Eva was pregnant in a new country.
This is not something you do in secret, Dawn.
She was vulnerable, new to America, learning the language, learning the culture, and I believe that's why she married Donald.
I didn't want her to feel ashamed.
What about my shame?
I'm sorry.
Because of the stigma of being unwed and pregnant.
In Indonesia, it is legal for a man to take 2 wives.
If the first wife approves, and if you can afford it.
It's common in Indonesia, but Umi doesn't believe in polygamy.
We're done!
Umi very angry and she filed for divorce.
She's not the only one upset with Donald.
It was just something I felt that wasn't right. Sometimes people give off a vibe. There was just something about him I didn't like.
But before the divorce goes through, Umi changes her mind.
Umi wants to stay married with Donald because Nadia.
Umi wanted nothing to do with Donald, and their daughter was the only reason she was staying.
But rumors about the unusual setup start growing.
Shocked, I think would be the first word, because I've never known a man that had 2 wives at the same time. You know, it's not allowed here in the U.S., so the public ain't forgiving over that, I wouldn't think.
We found it unusual. Both children considered both women their mother. They loved them equally.
I always wondered how long he was going to get away with it, how long it would last for him having that setup.
They all 3 shared a physical relationship in the same bedroom while the children were there. Umi would have been concerned for both of the children and the stigma that would have been brought onto them from a polygamous relationship.
This has to be the worst possible situation for Umi to be in, because she has literally been betrayed twice. She was betrayed by her husband, and she was betrayed by the person that she hired as a caregiver and took care of as well financially And so that combination has got to be really emotionally traumatic.
Well, it's easy to look at the Donald-Ava situation and see the fault in Donald, but I think it's really important also to notice the fact that Ava's not acquitting herself very well here either.
Ava is out for Ava. From the very beginning of when we meet her, she is already developing a relationship with Donald, knowing full well that he is married. It really does look like everything she is doing is to deal with her own personal motives to try and either get citizenship, be financially supported, and possibly become the wife of Donald instead of Umi.
A few years later, life at the apartment has settled down. And surprisingly, so have things with Eva and Umi.
You girls should start a band.
That's a great idea. You should start a band.
They were very close. They were like sisters.
They were raising kids. That seems natural, and I think they developed a close relationship during the marriage.
Come on, girls. It's a bit crowded over here.
He should have thought about that before he married 2 women.
Go to your rooms. I'll be right there. What's so funny, Umi? Shouldn't you be cleaning, Ava? Bring me a drink while you're at it.
Umi and Eva became protectors of each other in the relationship with Donald.
Donald's controlling behavior has become part of their everyday life.
Here, put this one on. It'll look better on you. And don't take too much time.
Donald, it seems, has some very specific sexual predilections.
I heard that that was a common practice for him, to take his wives out to bars and encourage them to flirt with other men. It excited Donald to watch. He appeared to be a stable, loving man, but that changed. I don't think that Umi and Eva had a choice as to what they went along with. I believe that they were told to do what they did, and they did it because they were told by Donald.
Donald seems to have this fetish, or paraphilia as we sometimes call them, whereby he likes to take Umi and Ava out to bars and have them flirt with other men. However, I'm skeptical about it. It's not certainly something that I think is common among guys. Most guys like to feel that their women are interested exclusively in them, and it would be an uncomfortable feeling to see them show affection to other guys, even if it was just so that later he could go pull them back out of it and take them home with him.
I don't know if it's a fetish, if it's some kind of thrill, if he's getting some joy out of the fact that other men are wanting them, but he actually has them. But whatever it is, there's some motivation going on.
Both of them would have felt humiliated, degrading, demeaned.
He's always telling us what to do.
We have to find a way to make things better.
I'm so jealous of you, Umi. You have somewhere to go every day. And all I do is stay home and clean.
Eva was responsible for the keeping up the house.
She grew weary of it. She wanted to go to school and start working outside the home.
I know that Eva didn't like it. I knew Umi didn't like it. The only person of the three of them that I think liked the arrangement was Donald.
I think it's time we do something about it.
Donald's perspective may change when Umi and Eva unite against their common enemy.
They didn't have to tolerate Donald and his controlling ways.
How could you do this to me?
There was certainly some animosity in the divorce and numerous allegations in the divorce.
Umi Southworth cannot forgive her husband Donald for taking their nanny as a second wife. But over time, Umi and Eva develop a close friendship and a shared contempt for Donald.
Umi and Eva became protectors of each other in the relationship with Donald.
A relationship they are determined to escape. Eva makes it out first.
They were sisters at heart, but once things changed, Eva left.
Eva want her own husband. She didn't want polygamy anymore, and she just left.
She left abruptly in the night while he was at work so she could get out of the relationship.
And into a new one.
She'd found someone else and was going to move on and separate.
Ava! Amelia! Where are Ava and Amelia? Hello?
I am sure that Umi was completely supportive and involved with her escape from Donald.
Amelia?
Donald is not pleased.
How could you do this to me?
I didn't do it. You did.
He was aggravated by the situation, frustrated. He would have felt angry and betrayed by it.
But once it was done, there was nothing Donald could do about it.
This has got to be infuriating to Donald because Donald was always the one who was in control. He called the shots. And so now they've gone behind his back this time together to go and hurt him.
In Donald's case, he's shown himself to me to be really nothing but a self-serving kind of a guy. And so my guess is that Donald's indignation is more about being deprived by the two women of his having his cake and eating it too.
Umi helping Ava leave. I do believe it is a win-win for her because she does get to help Ava get out and she gets to stay in her situation with Donald. Now people would ask, why would she want to stay in this situation with Donald? I think that Umi has now adapted. She's gotten used to her life as it is. She gets to be with her daughter all of the time. Donald isn't so horrible. She's living her life, she's doing what she wants, and so she's gonna stick it out.
Although they've been a couple for 15 years, Donald and Umi have never been so far apart. Until fate conspires to bring them closer.
Don had been driving all day long and was tired. So he asked Umi to drive, and he got over in the passenger seat, reclined the seat back, and was trying to get some sleep.
It was a serious accident, and she was seriously hurt.
She was airlifted to the hospital.
The accident helps Donald reset his priorities.
She was on crutches, bandages everywhere. He helped her up to the bathroom. He fixed her meals, waited on her hand and foot. Anything she needed, he did.
You had me worried there. You feeling better?
Yeah, getting better.
One thing that I know is that Don loved Umi very much. He loved his family very much.
Umi seems to appreciate Donald's good care. As she heals, she warms up to her husband.
Took her a while to get over it, but she did.
Or maybe it's just they share a common goal, to propel their daughter Nadia to superstardom.
They thought their daughter was a potential musical star.
At age 12, Nadia is something of a local celebrity.
Everybody that heard her was just blown away.
The money is adding up too.
Nadia didn't receive the pay. Donald received the pay.
I remember at one time Don telling me that she was making more money than he was.
Donald and Umi work together to manage and promote their daughter's very promising career.
Umi did most of the bookings, and Don did everything from loading the van, loading the equipment, making sure all the stuff worked beforehand, and getting her to the gig. He wore the roadie shirt, because that's what he was, basically, Nadia's roadie.
The Southworths take Nadia to Nashville.
Everybody's in Nashville. If you do a gig down there in any bar, you don't know who's in the crowd. It could be one of the biggest producers in Tennessee sitting there watching us, so you never know.
This is where Umi meets local music producer Max Dietrich.
Soda, please.
Max was a musician, and because of Umi's interest in her daughter's career, they became friends.
Is that your daughter?
Sure is.
Yeah, I've heard her demo. Sounds amazing.
You think so? I think she's pretty amazing, too. I'm Umi, by the way.
Max.
Weeks go by, and Umi and Max keep in touch.
It seemed to be a close friendship. They would text pretty late at night. I think Umi came to him with personal problems with Dawn.
Who is that?
Nobody.
It's Max, isn't it? Answer me!
They were open and would talk to each other pretty regularly, and it didn't matter the hour of the day.
Let go of me!
The only person Umi isn't talking to is Donald.
Your wife's texting someone else late night, you know, it seems suspicious.
They found the presence of semen.
Donald Southworth believes that Umi, his wife of 16 years, is having an affair with music producer Max Dietrich.
Are you sleeping with him? Are you sleeping with him?
How dare you?
I'll do what I have to do to find out.
Like what?
I will hire a detective.
I have nothing to hide. What would you care if I did anyways?
You are my wife!
So what? Since when has that ever meant anything to you? I'm going for a walk.
You are not going anywhere.
Let go of me.
But Umi's texting continues and grows more secretive.
She went outside in the night to text or talk to Max.
Your wife's texting someone else late night, you know, it seems suspicious.
That's not the only thing that's suspicious.
Umi was in the process of trying to get out of this marriage, and part of that involved having a cell phone, having a bank account that her husband did not know about.
Umi had planned to move to Nashville. She had already had an apartment there and was ready to leave the very next day.
What's going on?
Nothing.
I said, what's going on?
Not in front of Nadia.
At this point, I think it's safe to say that Umi is seriously contemplating leaving Donald and taking their child with her. I don't see evidence that she's actually cheating on Donald, but I'm not surprised that Donald is suspecting that. People who have done that tend to be the very first people to spot what they think are signs of that in others. It's part of the double standard that people like that have. What they've done is okay in their case, but if somebody tries to turn the tables and do the same thing to them, it's a major offense.
Donald is worried about Max because he's worried about losing Umi. Not so much because he's head over heels in love with her and they have a great relationship, but because he started with 2 women and he's lost one already. And now he's afraid that he's going to lose the second one, and he cannot have that.
It's Umi's last day of work before she and her 12-year-old daughter Nadia move to Nashville without Donald.
Nadia woke up from the sleeping. After that, where is her mother at? When Nadia called her, she not answered the phone.
Hi, you've reached Umi. I can't take your call right now. Please leave a message.
Umi doesn't show up for work, and by late morning, some of her colleagues grow concerned.
This was going to be her last day. They were going to take her to lunch, and she didn't show up for work. And that was very unusual for Umi.
I tried her cell. No one's picking up. I think we should go.
They really were worried, and they decided they were going to go over to Umi's house.
Nadia is there, and she's worried too.
They start looking for Umi in the backyard.
Her car was there.
I found a shoe!
Then they found shoes, and things kind of scattered around.
I'm calling my dad.
Hello? Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna be right there. Okay, calm down, I'll be right there. Yeah, bye.
His daughter called him and said his mom was missing, and so he took off work and he went to go help look for her.
Donald and Nadia attempt to file a missing persons report.
My mom is missing and her car is still there.
But Umi hasn't been gone for 24 hours, so nothing can be done.
Let's go, Nadia. They're not gonna help us.
He seemed calm. His daughter was not so calm. She was hysterical. She was concerned that something happened to her mother.
That fear is intensified when Umi's colleagues check her work voicemail later that day and find a message from Nadia's phone.
What do you want me to do? Kill her or something? No.
I'm calling the police.
There was a recording on there that caused some alarm because it sounded like some semblance of a fight going on.
Umi's coworkers thought it was suspicious.
So do police. They rush to the Southworth residence and search the woods behind the property.
The hobo camp was found by one of the officers. It was where people in the neighborhood who were homeless would come and stay and sleep and smoke and do whatever.
At the camp, they find an old mattress.
And under the mattress was Umi's body, naked, face down, with a belt around her neck.
She had a huge hole in her skull, and there was brain matter that was coming out of her skull onto her hair.
She's been badly beaten, but she's still alive.
And she was taken to the hospital, and the medical people said she was programmed to die. There was no survivability for that woman.
Police search the camp for clues. They find a nightdress with blood on it.
And of course she was found there naked, so it looked like she was some kind of sexual assault.
At the hospital, Umi is checked for signs of rape.
There was semen found inside of Umi's body.
The thought sickened me.
Umi dies the next day. Now it is both a homicide investigation and a rape investigation. Police extend their search for clues from the grounds to the Southworth's apartment building. Nothing looks amiss, except for one unusual detail.
In the downstairs in the washing machine was a uniform for his employer and leather shoes. I don't wash leather shoes in a washing machine.
Making Donald a possible suspect.
Yes, was Donald Southworth working last night?
He's supposed to be at work and on the road by 3:15 in the morning. And he wasn't. He wasn't there, but he called at 3:35 and literally begged to come to work. The dispatcher for the shipping company said, "I've never had anybody beg to come to work." And that was strange.
Police speak informally with Donald.
So, tell me what happened that night.
Well, Umi was being distant, as usual. Maybe she was thinking about her boyfriend, Max. You should really talk to him.
This is when he starts to talk about Umi having a boyfriend.
I think Umi's been cheating on me with this music producer guy, Max Dietrich. She's always texting him. And sometimes late at night, she'll go outside and wander around talking to him on the phone.
Why were you late for work?
I don't know. Sometimes people are late.
I mean, stuff happens. People show up for work late every now and then, you know.
Why were your leather shoes in the wash?
I like to wash my shoes. So what?
People washed their clothes, and there wasn't like anyone saw him, you know, covered in blood or anything like that.
Would you be willing to take a DNA test?
Absolutely. Anything to help.
Police speak with Max, who also agrees to DNA testing.
Max denied the affair. He said he had a girlfriend, and he denied it and said they were just friends. And they would talk late at night and text back and forth.
Police extend their DNA tests as far and wide as possible.
It could have been a random person because she was in the habit of taking walks at nighttime.
Being in the hobo camp, some transient might have killed her. They tested sexual offenders in the area. The Commonwealth actually took a pretty large amount of DNA samples from people that they could find and get samples from.
While police wait for the results of these tests, hoping DNA will lead them to Umi's killer, her friends pray for justice.
We held a vigil right in the area where they found her. And a lot of people showed up. My husband sang a song. People got up and said stuff about Umi. And it was very beautiful. It was very loving. I couldn't believe that anyone could have hurt Umi because she was such a kind and gentle and loving person. It broke my heart for Nadia, for everyone who knew her.
Sad, heartbroken. I mean, just one of them things you can't believe, you know. Umi had been murdered.
I know we wanted to find out. We wanted to find out who and why.
But the answers to those questions prove elusive. The strange voicemail message comes to nothing.
What do you want me to do? Kill her or something? No.
It turns out to be audio from a video game.
It sounded kind of strange out of context, but it was really just an innocent pocket dial that their daughter did.
The unknown DNA is the only lead left, but what it reveals will turn the case upside down.
We thought the whole scene was staged.
It's just disgusting, and I don't understand why anybody would do that.
The investigation into Umi Southworth's brutal rape and murder is going nowhere until the DNA test results of the found semen come in. It doesn't belong to the dozens of local homeless men or to Max.
Max had an alibi. His DNA wasn't found inside of her.
I don't believe that there was any sort of affair or sexual relationship between Umi and Max at all.
Leaving only Umi's husband, Donald Southworth. Except
it didn't match Donald Southworth. The semen was not his. His fluids were nowhere on Umi when she was found dead.
with one exception. Some of the blood on Umi's nightgown isn't hers.
There was DNA of Donald found on her nightgown that was found there.
But Donald's blood could have gotten there any time. That's not the only evidence that has police and prosecutors stumped. The results of the medical examination reveal Umi wasn't strangled to death.
They found a belt around her neck. It wasn't tight. There were no marks noticed by the medical examiner. We thought the whole scene was staged. That's what we thought.
Nobody knows what to think until police speak to Eva.
I want to talk to you about Umi Southworth. I have to tell you something about her husband. Donald. When we were together, he did something to me.
Eva described a strange situation with Donald. He had inserted into her vagina a used condom that he said he had gotten from a trash can in some Indonesian fella's house.
He put it in me.
It's just disgusting, and I don't understand why anybody would do that. But Donald was a very unusual man with unusual sexual habits.
We thought this may be an explanation of how that got there.
Given the knowledge that Donald could have inserted semen, he is arrested and charged with Umi's murder. His motive? Money.
Nadia had just been signed by Atlantic and was getting ready to go on an Australian tour. Donald was very, very driven by money. He imagined that Nadia would become a big star, and then he wouldn't have to worry about anything in life. He would never have to drive a truck again.
I said, what's going on?
I'm leaving, and I'm taking Nadia with me.
No, you're not.
Donald couldn't take it.
He didn't want to lose his child, his meal ticket, and the only way he could keep it from happening was to get rid of the person that was going to move his daughter.
He was losing control or any power that he might have had over her.
So he finds some sperm somehow and waits for his wife to go to sleep.
Donald waited till sometime in the middle of the night, and it woke Umi up because the cat had escaped.
Umi.
And needed help locating it.
But Scruffy's missing?
Yeah, come on, Nadia's gonna be devastated. Let's go.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on, come on.
Scruffy!
We think it was a log, 3 or 4 inches in diameter.
He then sets up the small hobo camp, brings Umi in, and makes it look like a sexual assault.
He inserted somebody else's semen into her body so that it could appear that maybe she was raped. We believe he staged the scene to point somewhere other than himself. That's what we think.
In 2012, Donald Southworth is convicted and sentenced to life in prison.
This is what you call a circumstantial case. You take all of the circumstances together, and they lead you to the conclusion that beyond a reasonable doubt, this guy did it.
But the conviction is overturned on appeal. Eva's testimony is found to be irrelevant and prejudicial, meaning her story about the used condom would be excluded from a second trial.
Without the condom and being able to explain how this foreign semen got into her body, then we couldn't get away from the idea that maybe she was raped by some unknown person, killed and left there.
Instead of a second trial, Donald is offered an Alford plea for first-degree manslaughter.
An Alford plea is he doesn't admit he's guilty, but what he says is there is so much evidence against him that a jury could find him guilty. I don't think justice is ever served in a murder case.
I've said everything out there turns somebody on, but this fetish whereby the idea of another man's semen in a woman with whom he was having sex was a turn on. This would be such a rare fetish for a man to have. So for a man to be turned on by that idea, I don't buy it. I think it is all bound up with this other supposed fetish that he let on that he had about wanting the women to flirt with other guys at bars. I think looking back now, all of that was fake, I think it was all part of Donald's plan in order to make himself look innocent.
It appeared that Donald thought that he had sought out relationships with women who were submissive. And as these women began to grow stronger, as they began to become more independent, he grew angrier and angrier. And when you're talking about a narcissistic personality like Donald has, what you're looking at is somebody who cannot bear rejection. They will do anything before they can be rejected.
And he almost got away with it. And to me, that is the fascinating thing about this story. It shows an amazing level of depravity. It shows a level of planning and, frankly, a clever idea that we haven't seen before.
In this twisted case, a few secrets remain.
To this day, we still don't know whose semen that is.
For most of Umi's friends and family, there will never be any real answers or closure.
The murder of Umi has affected Nadia to the core of her heart. You know, she lost not only her mother, but her father in the same day. Her mother showed her so much love that I'm sure it was very devastating, and I just pray that she will recover from it and continue on with the gift that God gave her in her music.
I'm always going to remember her as the girl that was thoughtful of other people, and she was a wonderful person. She really was.
It's not fair to us for Umi have to lose her life. That's it. I'm sorry.